I've bought in 4 different air cones and air boxes trying to get this damn thing to work. I don't have the right one. This is a stock piece, but don't have nothing that fits right here. Junkyard doesn't have any of that stuff because they take all that stuff when they pull the engines. So we're basically hosed. A new cold air intake is like $300, and that's about $300 more than I want to spend on a cold air intake for my Duramax. We are going to try and build our own today, and hopefully it'll work. I wonder. If this will fit on there. I don't think it will. So instead of going and cutting this one here up, which I was going to do, which would give us this length right here, I actually have this other K&N cone that I have, and it is the exact same length. The only problem with both of these is they're off of the newer truck, and it's because they're off the newer truck, they're not going to fit in the older truck, so I'm improvising. That and a brand new cold air intake setup like this is like $300, and that's a little more than I'm wanting to spend. So we're gonna improvise. This is actually the same length as this other one if I put it up there, because the cone is the same length and everything. So my original thought was I need this distance here shorter, so I either need to get a shorter cone or I gotta change this length in it, which I might be able to do that because it's not going to be mounted down. I don't need these mounting tabs, so I can actually cut these off right here, and I could cut off this part of the cone, if that kind of makes sense, and I can move everything up, and I could probably move it all up all the way up to right here, which would then be right here where it connects and then straight down. But the other problem we're running into is this fender is getting in the way of this process. It's supposed to be the plate there, and this is what an air cleaner box that kind of looks like that goes right here. So now we just have to figure out that portion of it. So I think if I cut this part here, because if I ever do put the plate back in, it's going to go right back here in these 4 holes. That's just a security hole. So I cut this piece out here. That'll at least let this cone go in. Tell me if that's going to work. I could shorten this down, and I think I can make this one here fit, and a lot better than that one there. Okay, so I got this piece right here cut. The only problem with my little plan, because I didn't foresee this in my future, is this plastic piece has a little bit of a cut right here, or a divot. I didn't do that. I did the little line right there, but I didn't do that big hole. That big hole is already there. So I'll have to patch that later. I'm not hugely concerned about that. I can patch that easy. Let's see if the cone fits. And this is just going to be a test to see how far down we can get this cone now. Oh, see, that goes a lot further in there. Just like that. Look at this. Look at this. I almost think this will work. Actually, I know that'll work, because look how close that is right there. I could actually make this cone go down a little bit further if I cut this tab here off, and I don't really know if I want to cut that tab off or if I want to mess up the K&N filter. If I cut that tab off there, I can never put the plate back on. And if I mess up this K&N filter, well, I just ruined a really expensive K&N filter. Which I'm okay with, because I didn't pay the K&N price for it, but I think we're going to cut the tab. I think cutting the tab is going to be a better bet, because I'm not planning on putting that plate back in anyway. And if I want to, I know a fabricator who can weld. So I'll fix it later. Okay, now that should technically drop all the way. Look how nice that drops. Just like that. Huh. That worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to work. Now, our plug. Yeah, so see, that'll still plug in there. That'll be perfect. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to attach this to this, because these two are the exact same size, but I have that covered. I'm just gonna get a bigger piece of pipe, like a piece of rubbery hose. I'm trying to use words. I don't know what words to use. I'm gonna get a thing that slides over both of them. That actually makes me feel really good about that whole thing, though, because now that'll fit. I'll still have my hood clearance. I'll be able to put these two on. This plug will still work just fine. I think that is going to work really well for us. And we didn't have to cut up this air cleaner, which means I could take this one back to the junkyard, because that shit ain't cheap. So I know it's super cheesy. It is definitely super cheesy, but it's going to work for right now. I just took some electrical tape and I taped up the K&N filter to our other filter. This piece here doesn't have a hose clamp, so it keeps coming off. So it's just a little block off plate I built out of tape. So I know it's super cheesy, but it's gonna work. And this is just a temporary thing, so I could drive it over to the shop, get it over to the shop, and then I could actually put the right fitting on it. Because I don't have the fitting here, I have it over at the shop. But I'm gonna drive this over to make sure it's gonna drive over, and that way you get the wheels mounted, balanced, and everything else while I have it in town. So kill two birds with one stone instead of me making 3 or 4 trips to the shop and back. You know what I mean? It's temporary. It's probably a 3-month temporary, but it's temporary, okay? Yeah. We have no battery power whatsoever. Yup. Nothing. Okay, let's go jumper. Okay, while that's charging, let's paint the grill. Okay, so I got my can of spray paint. Have my can of spray paint. We're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna touch up the radiator and the condenser and the cooler, and you know, just make everything look really nice underneath here. Wow, look how much better that looks. That's the one thing I have always said. I said if I ever got one of these trucks with the squinty eyes, you can always see these little metal bars coming up off the sides, and they look terrible because you can always see it past the grill. And so I've always said that if I ever got one of these trucks, I was going to paint that black so it didn't show up. Because look how much better it's going to be. I mean, if you're standing back here, you're not even going to notice it, especially when the grill's on there. Grill's going to be all white and that black background. That's going to look freaking nice. Look at this. You can't even see, you can only see the bottom of the bar come up now. You mean you can't see the bars, you can't see nothing behind there. That looks really clean. Okay guys, check this out. Look, oh, hold on. Okay guys, check this out. Look where the Duramax is. It's in the driveway! Okay, so I know it may not be as cool to all of you guys as it is me, but considering the Duramax has been sitting over there for the past 6 months, and now it's finally right here in the driveway, right where my wife parks, it's kind of a big deal. Oh man, check it out. This is the best part of the whole thing. We gotta wait. We gotta wait for that little thing to go away. Okay, it's away. Oh, you shitting me. She was supposed to start. Ah. So today we're going to take the Duramax on the first test drive since I've owned it in 6 months. And, well, we had to tow it here, so I actually had to tow it from, where to tow it? From Red Barns Auto, which is like 10 miles away from me. So I actually had, not even 10 miles, it might be 5 miles. So I actually had to sit in that and tow it, and the seat was all the way forward, batteries were dead, yeah, it was, and no brakes. No brakes, literally, no e-brake either. So that's the most I've ever driven it. So it's been sitting over here forever. Finally got it moved over here in the driveway. Check this out. It's in the driveway. I am just so freaking pumped about this. I mean, it still needs work. We still got to get the work done to her, but she's in the driveway. That means she runs and drives. We're actually getting ready. We're going to go and get these tires mounted. The new tires mounted and balanced on here. She's going to look so good with those tires on there. And then we got to get the bumper issue figured out because our bumper's right there. We got to figure out what this frame horn right up here is really bad. So I got to figure if I either got to cut these off and go get new ones from the junkyard and weld new ones on there, or if I can heat these up with a torch and I can flatten them out. And if I can flatten them out, the bumper will go on and it'll be just fine. Because literally that's the only thing on the frame. It looked a lot worse. They totaled it out because of that, but it's not, I mean, it's frame damage, but it's not frame damage. It's bumper mount damage. Yeah, so we can get those on there, and we got to change out the hood. We got to do, you know, a bunch of little cosmetic stuff. Like, obviously, we got to get the hood painted, and we got to get the fender painted, and the bumper painted, and the grill painted, and get the emblem from the grill. I think we're going to paint the back dent over there on the bedside. But, I mean, little stuff like that. She runs, guys. She runs and drives. How cool is this?